Hi everybody, ADHD dude here, bringing you another video on how to study more efficiently. This is a system that I sort of came up with personally whenever I was in college. I forget exactly how somebody tipped me off to these tricks, but these tricks helped me make it through school successfully with ADHD. So I want to share some of those. And today I want to talk to you about worthless textbook sections. Now, the reason why textbook publishers put these worthless sections in, I've talked in previous videos about how there's sort of this idealized textbook size as what looks to be convincing. A textbook needs to have a certain dimensions to it, a certain weight to it, a certain page count, a certain thickness. You don't want a textbook that's too thin. You'll never sell it because it immediately looks like it doesn't teach enough. You don't want a textbook that is too big because it looks like something a college kid would never read. Plus, if you make a book way too thick, kids can't carry it. And, plus for the fact that you don't want one book that's going to work for 3, 4, or 5 classes. The school won't make any money selling you a bunch of books that you don't really need. So there's kind of sort of this industry practice of all textbooks should be about this size, about this weight, and about this number of pages. Now, when you look at your textbook and you look at the chapter reviews, at the end of the chapter, they're always about a page, maybe a page and a half, but they're never more than a page or two. And it's real common for these chapter reviews to follow chapters that are 20 or 30 or sometimes even 40 pages long. So one of the first things you need to do is when you open your textbook, go to the end of the chapter and look at the chapter review and see how big the chapter review is. Before you ever read anything in the chapter, the first thing you need to know is how much do I need to learn from this chapter? If there's 20 questions and there's 40 pages, that means on average, there's about 2 pages per question, which is about 2 pages too long for an answer, right? Because let's face it, the true textbook would look just like a chapter review. So that's the first thing you need to do. Take a look at the questions. It doesn't matter what the questions are. You're just looking for a total number of questions, a total length of the review, and the total length of the chapter. That's going to tell you if this chapter is dense or if it's bloated. So some chapters are going to be denser than others. Some chapters are going to be more bloated than others. So you want to thumb through this chapter and identify which sections are worthless. Now, in this book that I'm looking at, they have these little sections called war stories. War stories are always worthless in this book. They make for good reading, but in terms of test material, and I guess it's ultimately up to your professor about whether or not they give you test questions about the war stories, but that'd just be a real jerk thing for a professor to do. But back to the point, identify what's worthless. Make a note to yourself and skip it. You're not concerned with it. And that will take the number of pages that you need to read down from 40 to maybe 10 to 12, depending on if it's a bloated chapter. It could take you down from 40 to 39. It might be a very information-dense chapter. But that's the first, this is the first major cut that you can make to the content you need to read. It's the biggest cut out of all the cuts that you want to make, and the most effective. So if nothing else, identify worthless sections, cut them out of your reading plan, and then move on. So that's it for this video. Please like, comment, or share, and we'll see you on the next one.